Well, welcome to a new Upbuild video, and so I better explain what I'm doing here. As you can see, the Mini, when it's on the rotisserie jig, it obviously can spin around very easily. We'll have the pin which we can pop in the front here to stop it at any point, and then we can steady the jig by just putting the bolt in the end there, or tightening the bolt up in the end, so just tightens it up on the pivot. But it's not strong enough for someone to get inside of it, for the weight of me getting inside of it, and for it moving around when they're tightened up and the pin's in. So I've just steadied it up by just putting the bench under the front, a couple of chocks, and then the same at the back, just to sort of shore it up so it's nice and solid. A couple of props. The reason for it is I'm going to get in and start taking out this cant rail, the first cant rail. So that's going to be the next bit. I'm going to start whipping that cant rail out. I've put an extra brace in there, as you can see. Probably not really that necessary, but belt and braces, I'd rather put it in. I'm not 100% sure. Now, I've taken the cant rail out the other ones. You can see how little there is left in the top, and this is obviously on the jig, so there's an awful lot more pressure or stress on the shell. So yeah, the next bit is get inside and start cutting that old cant rail out of this Mk1 conversion shell. So I'm going to jump inside now. Should be nice and steady for me getting in now. There we go. There we go. Right, let's crack on and cut this cant rail out. So I think I've got it sort of freed off there. I'll give you a bit of a close up. Oh, sorry, grab the camera. Hey. Right. Yeah, so kind of see that moving a bit there. I think when I've welded the piece on the other side, when lowering the window aperture, it's maybe got it slightly tacked along the bottom, but I can get all these spot welds free and then cut it from either side. Obviously you can see I've drilled through the spot welds on the corner there as well. There's a tack weld there which I'll have to break free. I might actually just cut this down here and then grind it off just to leave a nice edge on the back piece of the cant rail, which we're keeping because the new one will go back in behind there, and then this will just fatigue. I'll just break it away. And it'll come off that any welds that's got it along that edge. I suppose a really handy tip as well is you've seen the spot weld drill that I'm using, which is that one there. I'm not entirely sure what the name of it is, but it's kind of like the hole saw type. It's that one anyway. It has the pin in the middle. So the best thing to do with that is, obviously you've seen as I centre punched all those holes. And I found the best technique is to drill a hole in the centre all the way through, and then that allows the little pin just to locate in that hole, like so. I'm trying to focus with one hand here on the camera. There we go. So you can see the pin's like it's on a spring, but that then allows it to keep it centred, and then you can drill the hole. Because you find using these little drills that jump all over the place if you don't have the centre popped, and then definitely, like I say, drill the hole. Anyway, yeah, so I'll carry on drilling them spot welds. You can see the ones I've got to drill through there. They're all pretty well highlighted. Oh God, what have I got? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. I don't know, nearly 20. Ooh, fantastic. I can't wait. Right, let's crack on and get these drilled out. Put you back on the tripod. Right then, so I've just popped a 2mm drill through all those centre punched holes where I've centre punched all of the spot welds, and so now I shall pop the now I'll pop the spot weld drill in, and then I'll just cut around all those spot weld drills. Spot welds. I know what they are. I know what I mean anyway. Crack on. Oh, she's out. Ah, fantastic. Ooh. Wow. There we go. One Mark IV cant reel out. An opportunity now to tidy all in the back of there. Fantastic. It's nice to get back out of there. Right then, now I can give you a little bit better, a closer look at the two cant reels, at those two panels, to show you the difference. So there we go, that's the two there. So that's obviously, you can see how the Mark IV cant reel has this larger piece on the top, taller section, and it's just to do with where the headlining fits into the roof. So obviously the Mark 1 stroke 2 cant reel, the headlining sits on the top of that bulge piece. It actually sits in the top of here, and that remains body coloured inside the car. So you can kind of see the difference between the two. The top of that, it's hard to describe, but the top of that bulge is the same height in the car as the top of that bulge. So you can kind of see then, if I'm saying that, how much longer the Mark II cant reel is. So that where my thumb is, that bulge on the top of there is the same position in the car as the top of that bulge. So if you look at those two and then see how much lower this cant reel comes down. And obviously it has to come lower to fit in with obviously the windows being smaller. so the cant rail comes further down. So that's why I need to change the cant rail, because obviously it finishes the interior of the car properly. And obviously then the headlining can sit in the right place on top of this piece here. So you have that piece there as a body colour, runs right around the top, the bottom edge of the headliner. So it's complicated because obviously this B pillar section as well, try and hold them together. And this section here and here, obviously that curve that comes round is lower down on this section. So you need that section of the top end of the B pillar, because this section here, this curve is lower down. This one here, if you line them up, that curve would be higher up. So you can obviously imagine that top of that bulge is there. It's the curve just slightly below it. So it'll be in a different place. But, just nice to see the two together to kind of give a bit of an explanation as to what we're doing and why we're doing it. But it just obviously finishes the car off. It needs to be done to finish it off. Obviously we're building the Mark 1 conversion, so to make a Mark 1 conversion, that's one of the bits that's going to be seen. It's going to be on show all the time. So we need to have that right. But oh man, so pleased to have that out. That is absolutely fantastic. A lot of work getting it out, but taking it out without destroying the shell, that's the thing, isn't it? Just gradually working my way around it with the spot weld drill. Punching all the spot welds obviously, and then drilling all the spot welds out, and careful not to go too far with them. And then now I can spend a bit of time tidying that area up inside the car, and then ready to sort of start accepting this panel. And obviously again, before I put this panel on, I'll tidy this panel off. I've got a little bit of the rear section of the cant rail that's still in the Mark II shell. We don't need it because the rear and the front of the cant rail in this Mark IV shell is exactly the same. So this will line up. But brilliant. That's great. There we go. Anyway, we'll start tidying that up now. So what I can do is I can just go around the bottom of that now, get a very sharp line on there with my scriber. Yay, look at that. Beautiful. I'll trim that down now. There we go. There we go, nicely cleaned off. Another handy little tip, which I picked up along the way, is you saw us kind of make a mistake at the beginning there. I started using the little die grinder with the worn flap disc, but to be honest, never use a flap disc or a sander on cleaning the paint off, because the reason why is you're just going to thin the metal, because you're going to start taking the metal off with the sander, whereas with the wire wheel will get into all the crevices, but it won't take any metal off. It'll just take the paint off, so then you're not thinning the metal. The reason why I don't want to thin the metal is because when you come to weld it, it'll be too thin and you'll just blow through it all the time, so you just want as much metal left on there as possible. Common sense really, I suppose, but you know, probably most of you already know that obviously. But if you don't, like I say, clean the paint off always with a wire wheel or a paint removal disc, which is what I was trying to use there, which it's worn out. there's better ones than that as well. But yeah, so that's it. Cleaned up, tidied up. We'll give that, oh, the back's still to do. We'll clean the back out. We're going to try that on the car now, see how that fits. Oh, like a glove. Whew. Oh, maybe I should have put that bit in the back first. Yeah. That's it, trial fitted, so I'll bring it in so you can have a closer look. Whoa. It's pretty canny. That's great. Ooh. Ooh-wee. Wow, well, would you look at that? One Cant rail fitted. Or temporarily fitted anyway, until we get the back of it painted. So yeah, so obviously we've got that back section all to paint out with epoxy primer. And also we'll paint the back of the Cant rail as well, all with epoxy primer too. Clean that out obviously first, and then we'll get it welded in, and that's that side done. So we're kind of getting to a stage where once we get the other side fitted, that's two major parts of the shell. So we can kind of get onto the part where we want to be, where we can't wait to get the getting the shell and epoxy primer. So what we want to do is we want to work through the whole shell and sandblast the whole shell, so we can you know, get any little bits of surface rust out of it, or get any little bits of mist, make it totally clean, the whole shell. And then what we'll do is we'll build a little sandblasting booth inside the workshop, just to sort of confine that space, so we can kind of work our way around it in sections, because we'll not get it done all in one go anyway. That's the next point to kind of get to, which we can't wait to. Seeing the whole shell in one colour would be fantastic. But it's a shame, obviously, my dad hasn't been here to see this how it looks yet. But he'll be here. He's back soon. I think we better cut it here, because obviously it's going to be too long otherwise. It'll be a very, very long episode. But thank you so much for all the comments from me dad. Appreciate it a lot. That was lovely, that all them comments. Give him really was nice to have them. He'll be back with us on the next one, which will be nice, won't it? Get him back in the garage, cracking on with the Mini. And not falling asleep, hopefully. But yeah, anyway, thanks very much for watching, everyone. Appreciate it a lot. But yeah, don't forget, hit that thumbs up button. Massively helps us. Hit that thumbs up button and subscribe if you haven't already. Really, really appreciate that. But yeah, hopefully see you all on the next one. Take care, everyone.